Also, another little bit of thing. I mean, there were women out there that had stolen and even been, well, I mean, they had done lots of drugs, they had said lots of things, and, silly young girls, basically. Even silly young boys. I mean, until you're like 20 or so. That's why I actually had a military age where people couldn't join my military until they're at least a certain age because of the fact that until you're like 18 or so like that, you really don't, you're too young and you really don't understand about the world. But then again, there were my orphanages and stuff like that where they generally could just go right into military service, although not until they were older, of course, but they could start training for military service sooner than than others. They could have a military service orientation, to their upbringing, basically. And so, anyway, so it kind of the orphanages were a little bit different kind of thing because they were taught from a very young, early age about tactics and war and also how to fight and how to defend themselves and everything else like that. So, anyway, other people, the civilians out there in the world, they could join the military at an older age of like 18 or so. Although within a year or two, I was like, yeah, a lot of people said, well, I was too young to join. It's like, well, I was liberal about that. Actually, it's like in some situations, like when an enemy or when someone comes to kill you inside your hometown or your home place, like it's not like the bad people of the world and the universe aren't going to go, oh wait, he's only 12. Oh yeah, we can't kill him. Like generally like people who actually attack and generally kill and rape, they really don't care what age you are. You could be 5 years old. You might. I mean, they might like force you to join their ranks or something like that, or they might just kill you. So basically, I was liberal about the whole like oh you're only like 16 or 15 years old. So a few people I let join the military a little bit young, especially during times of war, because when someone's coming to kill you, like they're not going to stop and wait. The bullet's not going to go. Oh wait, he's only 12. Better not shoot him. Better not go into him. I mean, the guns and the things, don't really care what age you are. So anyway, though, but my militaries and stuff like that, um, generally I was liberal about that. But as far as women are concerned, and I mean, I generally didn't like to see women get killed, but again, when someone is going to try and rape a woman, and generally men, at least in the old days, generally did treat women like pretty much their sexual slaves or servants, basically lying to them or just trying to force themselves upon women. So women had at some point in time, I actually gave more of a what's called emphasis and focusing on women because they are very much less strong and less defended than men and generally become men's like playthings pretty much, which is really annoying. So basically to make it so they can defend themselves, in a rape situation and stuff like that. A little more emphasis was put on them. But there were women out there that had done drugs and done this and done that and slept around and very much basically been what the religious and the priest would say would be a sinner, a bad person. And it's like, well, I created drugs, I funded drugs, and also I funded guns and stuff like that, so my peoples could defend themselves because it's kind of important in general, because you don't have a people if your people get killed by some crazy lunatic. So, um, so I mean, I wouldn't have had there wouldn't be any LSD or cocaine. I could have snuffed it out, or opium in the world. I could have snuffed it out at any point in time. So, very much a lot of people wanted to just go over there and burn all the plants and all that other stuff. And I was like, yeah, but those are for medical and important. And besides, like, I kind of funded the refining and all that other stuff and also helped LSD and other drugs be manufactured. So it's like, yeah, I didn't really have a problem with people being on drugs. I just didn't want them to be on drugs while driving cars or being at work, especially LSD. It can kind of Oh yeah, sure, I'll sign it all over. Here you go. It's like, yeah, that wasn't his to sign over. So anyway, I mean, so I generally like to have clear heads and clear thinkers, running my trains, because otherwise it's like, oh yeah, just go right, yeah, that signal was green, and flying and stuff. So my pilots and everybody else, I demanded them to be silver at work, and not high or whatever, and be watched by other people if they have a drug problem or something like that. But generally, as far as civilians and as far as just the use of them on the weekends and stuff like that, it's like, I didn't really care. If you weren't flying one of my military aircraft, or or being a police officer, I really didn't mind you doing drugs on the weekends and stuff like that. That's like, whatever, I don't care. Now creating a drug empire and trying to overthrow the government, that was a concern of mine, and that was not okay. So, yeah, or trying to overthrow the me and my governments, like that was not okay. So, anyway, so there's like this thing. Anyway, though, but my whole point was with the women. There are a lot of women that done a lot of things. It's like, I'm not really gonna hold it against. I'm not gonna hold that against you, and I forgave a lot of people, and besides, and after a while, it's like, well, whatever, I'm still alive, so I can't really get all that mad at everyone. So a lot of people I forgave, because it's like, yeah, whatever, I forgive you. Forget it. I'm still alive, and I still have, and America is still in existence. So, whatever happened, it's like, and everything worked. I mean, there are gorgeous women, and everything was basically done the way I pretty much wanted it to be done, even if people denied me and didn't know about me or something like that. So, I mean, I couldn't really say, oh, how horrible, end you, because it's like, well, America is still here, my White House is here, Washington, D.C. is still here, it's like, whatever. I'm still here, so, and I'm free, so I can't really say, oh, you deserve to die or something like that, and there's a lot of other people going around saying, oh, people deserve to die, blah, blah, and it's like, that's not really your decision, and I need factual evidence before I sentence any group or anyone to really death, I mean, if someone is really guilty and all that other stuff, and they are really that big of a problem, it's like, okay, no problem, but if they're not, then you don't really know what you're doing, and you could actually be, causing yourself a serious problem. So, I mean, I needed factual evidence, and that's also why there's Pinkerton and all these investigations and stuff like that, because, only with factual evidence can you move forward. Otherwise, it's just hearsay, and you have to just be like, well, who knows? Could be a million other reasons. He could have been paid to say those things, or just been on drugs or whatever. Anyway, though, but as far as women, though, I really gave a lot more forgiveness to them, because, like, women are under a lot of stress anyway, and everything else like that, because there are women that men said, oh, these women killed these men, and it's like, well, did you rape them? Were you hurting them? And like I say, usually the men were found to be wife beaters or abusive people, or just people that rape people and just didn't want to go to jail, or didn't want to be whatever. And it's like, well, mistreating the opposite sex is not okay. And I even warned them. I was like, if you mistreat them, it's going to backfire on you, because you need them more than they need you. So, and they did. So, anyway, and whatever. Anyway, so, yeah, because like I say, there's groups of men running around mistreating women like crazy, and even using the courts and the justice system and even computers to try and mess with them, to try and isolate them, and, whatever. They wanted to play all powerful man, and it's like, well, you're not. I am that powerful, and blah, blah, blah. So, and I forgave the women, because it's like, whatever. Because women found out about a lot of things that the men were hiding from them. And there was very much a division of the sexes. Because the women knew about me, and then, hey, whatever. So it's over with now.